The Basics of Photography, Composition by Jan's Advice. First off, what is composition? Composition is the relative arrangement of elements of photography within the frame of a photograph. It's what separates taking from making. Taking are just snapshots of a moment. They're not planned out or thought out completely. They're common everyday photographs. While in making, you plan out the composition before taking the photograph and you enhance it during the editing process. Now, what are the rules of composition? First is rule of thirds. You move the focal point out of the center and into one of the third sections of the photograph frame, as seen here. Next is balancing elements. You have to consider the weight of your objects. If one thing feels too heavy, balance it out with another element. There are two types of balance, formal or symmetrical, and informal or asymmetrical. Asymmetrical balance pairs well with the rule of thirds. When looking here, you can see that the left picture is symmetrical, while the right picture is an example of informal balance. Then there's leading lines. By carefully placing lines, you can draw the viewer's eye around your photograph. You want the viewer to jump to the focal point, then have lines move the viewer's eye around the rest of the composition. When using Viewpoint, you have to consider what the best position is to capture your subject. Ask yourself these simple questions. Would it be more interesting to capture it from above? What about getting low to the ground? Will a straight-on shot create more impact? And how do you want your shot to come across? Inclusion and exclusion are pretty easy. You just have to ask yourself what needs to be included to create a successful image. Mergers are background elements that compete with the object. Try to avoid them. The top photograph is uncropped while the bottom photograph is cropped. You can see a big difference where it moves the focal point to the subject. The last thing is experimentation. Although there are rules in photography, all rules in art are meant to be broken. Don't be afraid to try something new or something that goes against the rules. Thank you for watching this video of Jan's Advice. Special thanks to Slides Go and all of the Unsplash artists.